ॐ शन्नो मित्रशं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. So, yeah. So, in one of the conferences that we had in the past and in Rishikesh, I had briefly covered the brief history of Sanskrit literature. This time I would like to cover Pancha Mahakavyas in as much detail as possible. So here it is. Now, Sanskrit is an Indo-European language, and out of Shraddha we say that it's a Deva Bhasha, and the source of calling Sanskrit as a Deva Bhasha is from Kavyadarsha, Dandi, 7th to 8th century. What does he say? He says in his Kriti Kavyadarsha that Sanskritam nama daivi vak अन्वाख्याता महर्षिभिः तद्भवः तत्समः देशी इति अनेकः प्राकृतक्रमः. What is it? What we call Sanskrit is the divine language as expounded by the great sages. Based on the past work of the rishis, he made such a statement. What is it? Manifold is the gradation of Prakrit as being Tadbhava. Tadbhava is derived, then Tatsama, analogous, and Deshi, that is provincial. This is the source. This is the source of our calling Sanskrit as a Deva Bhasha, as the Deva Bhasha. Okay, now in the, if we come to the nomenclature or various types of Sanskrit literature, then roughly we can say there is Vedic literature and there is classical literature. In the Vedic literature, the 4 Vedas will come, and within those Vedas the Samhita, Brahmana Grantha, Aranyaka and Upanishads will come. Then the 6 Vedangas will come: Shiksha, Kalpa, Jyotisham, Chandas, Niruktam and Vyakarana. And the Upavedas will come. In classical literature, in Itihasa, Ramayana and Mahabharata will come, and there are 18 Puranas and 18 Upapuranas, and there are what? Stotras, that comes under hymnology, and then there is poetry and prose and champu and drama, that is Nataka, and Katha Sahitya. All this will come, and of course Darshana literature, all the 6 systems of Astika Darshana and 4 systems of Nastika Darshana, all that literature is in Sanskrit. Now, So, as I said, there is in the classical literature we have Kavya Sahitya, we have Alankara Sahitya, we have Champu Sahitya, we have Gadya Sahitya, we have Nataka Sahitya, we have Katha Sahitya, Sukti Sahitya, that is Subhashitam, and Upadesha Sahitya. Then there are Darshana Shastras and Vyakarana Shastra. Each of these part will take a lifetime to complete. And very briefly, I have already covered most of them, and as I said that this time I will try to cover the Pancha Mahakavya. Now, what is the definition? There are kavyas and there are mahakavyas. What is the definition of mahakavya? Yeah, scholars have defined, past scholars have defined the what are the factors that makes a kavya a mahakavya. I'll read it out. This is by इतिहासोद्भवं वृत्तम् अन्यद् सज्जनाश्रयं चत्वार तस्य वर्गाः स्युः तेषु एकं च फलं भवेत् आदौ नमस्क्रियाशीर्वा वस्तुनिर्देश एव वा क्वचित् what is it क्वचित् निन्दा खलादीनां सतां च गुणकीर्तनम् एकवृत्तमयै पद्यैः अवसाने अन्यवृत्तकैः नाति स्वल्पा नाति दीर्घा सर्गा अष्टाधिका इह. It means it should have a mahakavya in Sanskrit must have at least 8 sargas, that is cantos. Then the hero of such a mahakavya has to be Dhirodatta, Kshatriya or a deity. Then it has to be minimum 8 sargas or more, and it has to be Chandavadha, it has to be okay. Then the story of the Mahakavya has to be historical, it's famous in history, and in that, not only that, in that the description of the nature is expected. Then what should be the rasa of a Mahakavya? It can be Shringar, it can be Veera, it can be Shanta. And as the Angi, then other rasas can be as part of the Mahakavya. Then description of nature, like description of the cities, then the ocean, various times of the day, like morning, evening, then yatra, and the seasons have to be there. Then all this, okay, this is by Dandi in Kavyadarsha. Okay, now the 5 Mahakavyas, I'll try to take it chronologically. So they are Raghuvamsa and Kumarasambhavam of Kalidasa, then Kiratarjuniyam of Bharavi, Shishupalavadha of Magha, and Naishadhya Charitam of Sriharsha. We'll see how far they satisfy the factors, that is of Mahakavya. So Raghuvamsa of Kalidasa, it talks about the Raghu dynasty, and it is in 19 cantos, about 1564 verses. Then again by Kalidasa, Kumarasambhavam, that is the description of the wedding of Lord Shiva and Parvati, and the birth of Kumara, that is Kartikeya, and that is in 17 cantos, 17 sargas. Then comes Bharavi, Kiratarjuniyam by Bharavi, that has got 18 cantos, out of which the 15th canto is Chitrakavya. Then comes Shishupala Vadha by Magha, that has got 20 cantos, and the 19th canto of Shishupala Vadha is noted for verbal gymnastics and wordplay. We'll see that later, and it has got 1800 verses. Then comes Naishadhya. Chronologically, I am trying to cover the Panchamaha and then comes Naishadhya Charita, that is by Sri Harsha, and that has got 11 Purva and 11 Uttara, and there is another work that is given the status of a Mahakavya, that is Bhattikavya, which is Bhattikavya, also known as, rather it is Ravanavadha, also known as Bhattikavya, that is based on Ramayana and Paninian grammar. That has got 12 cantos. Yeah, and all these Panchamahakavyas, they are based on a source. What is the source? In case of Raghuvamsa, it is based on the source grantha is Ramayana, Kumara Sambhavam. Okay, then Kiratarjunyam is again based on, they pick up a particular story from the Ramayana or Mahabharata. In case of Kiratarjunyam, it is based on Mahabharata. In case of Shishupala Vadha, also is based on Mahabharata, and Naishadhya Charita, specifically it is the third part of Vanaparva of Mahabharata. And as I said, Bhattikavya is on Ramayana and Paninian system of grammar. Now, Raghuvamsa is about the dynasty of Raghu, also known as the Surya Vamsha or the solar dynasty. It is a Mahakavya by Kalidas, and I would not like to get into the controversy of timing these great poets. I have placed Kalidas as 1st century and others come later. Kalidas, so the exact date of composition is not known, but yeah, scholars have attributed 5th century to Kalidasa. Now, it has 19 sargas, as I told, and the story is related to Raghu dynasty, namely Dilipa and his descendants up to Agnivarna, who include Raghu, Dasharatha and Rama. Specifically, ancestors of Rama, Dilipa, King Dilipa, Raghu, Aja and Dasharatha, that they are covered in cantos 1 to 9. Then the story of Ramayana in cantos 10 to 15. Then descendants of Rama, cantos 16 to 19. We have a bhashyam like we have in our Advaita Vedanta literature. We have bhashya by Shankara. So on the work of Kalidasa, there have been bhashya. So the earliest bhashya on this is by Vallabhadeva, who belonged to 10th century. Okay, now that is the earliest commentary on Raghuvamsa. But the most popular and widely available commentary is Sanjivani, written by Mallinatha. Mallinatha is 14th century, and like in our Sampradaya, Advaita Vedanta Sampradaya, we say that Anandagiri knew the mind of Shankara, so like that Mallinatha, who has written Bhashyam on all the work of Kalidasa, so we say that nobody knows Kalidasa's mind better than Mallinatha. Then comes the next second Mahakavya is Kumara Sambhavam, that is the birth of Kumara. Kumara is Kartikeya, Lord Kartikeya. and it is considered the finest work of Kalidasa. And yeah, in fact, the style of description in Sambhavam, it set the standard for nature, the description of nature, similes, metaphors, all that for further poets in the tradition, in the literary tradition. Now, this has got, I told you how many cantos? Kumarasambhavam. 17 cantos, but scholars say that the first to 8 sarga cantos are by Kalidasa, that is describing the wedding of Lord Shiva and Parvati, and later 9 sargas are composed by somebody else. Why do this? So when we go through all these things, we will come across many legends, so not to be dismissed but to be appreciated. So what legend says that Kalidasa could not complete his epic Kumarasambhavam because he was cursed by goddess Parvati. Maybe you don't know, because there is explicit description of the conjugal love between Lord Shiva and Parvati in the 8th canto, and he was cursed by Lady Parvati, and that is how he could not continue further. And in fact, Goswami Tulsidas has pointed this out in his work, that what kind of a great poet you are, that you could describe the love between father and mother. How could you do that? This was told by Murari Bapu in some satsang. That is how it is. I mean, think of Goswami Tulsidas criticizing Kalidasa. What comes to my mind now is Goswami Tulsidas and that period, Bhakti period, they were all poet saints. Saints who were poets, or poets who were saints. So naturally they are different from these 5 great poets who had no inhibition in writing in Sringara. Okay. Then comes Bharavi. Bharavi, he wrote, he composed Kiratarjuniyam. Bharavi, we are placing him in 6th century, and that the subject matter of Kiratarjuniyam is the battle between Arjuna and Shiva in the form of a what do you call it? Kirata. What is Kirata? In the guise of a mountain dwelling hunter, Shiva was testing Arjuna, so that later on he gives his special weapon to Arjuna. Who else? Adhikritasya adhikara. Who else he will give except Arjuna? Now, this has 18 cantos and combat between Arjuna and Lord Shiva in the guise of a Kirata. They have identified where it is, the place of this encounter between Lord Shiva and Arjuna, that is Indra Kiladri Hills in Vijayawada, Andhra. Out of these 5 Mahakavyas, there are Laghutrayi and Brihatrayi. This Kiratarjuniyam and Shishpalabhadra and Nachadya Charita, these 3 make the Brihatrayi. Huge work these 3 are. So, along with Naishadya Charita and Shishupala Vadha, this is one of the larger three uh, of the 5 or 6 Mahakavyas, great epics. Now, later on I'll come, the style of these poets, these great poets, Mahakavis, uh, and in case of Bharavi, it is his style is noted among the Sanskrit critics both for gravity of depth of meaning. What is it? Upama Kalidasasya Bharaver Arthagoravam. Dandinah Padalalityam Maghe Santi Trayaguna. So Bharavi, author of Kiratarjunyam, Arthagoravam. Arthagoravam is what? Arthagoravam is gravity or depth of meaning. Heavy it is. And this has what Bharavi has done in one of the cantos in Kiratarjunam. He has kept it aside to play with words, which became demonstrated linguistic feats, Chitrakavya and all that. Okay, that was heavily adopted, not copied, adopted by Magha in Shishupala Vadha. Okay. Okay. Bharavi. You have this Nindastuti Nyaya. What happens by elevating, by praising a particular person, you show his extraordinary qualities. So, in case of Bharavi and Magha, the verse goes like this: Tavat Bharavehe bhati yavat Maghasya nodayah udite udite chu punarmaghe bharaveriva. So bharavehe iva. That is how one has to break. So the Abhida meaning, the Abhida Vritti is the lustre of Bharavi. Bharavi is the sun. Okay, the lustre of Bharavi lasts until the advent of Magha. Magha, Posha, Magha, Phalguna, Chaitra, Posha, Magha. So Magha is the coldest month in India. So as long as the lustre of Bharavi, that is the sun, lasts until the advent of Magha. After Magha comes, naturally the intensity of the sun goes down. But the Lakshana Vritti is, in case of just try to recollect, remember that we are talking about Bharavi and Magha. So Lakshana Vritti is the lustre of Bharavi, author of Kiratarjunyam, last until the advent of Magha, the author of Shishupala Vadha. Okay. Next we come to the third one. 1, 2, 3, no, fourth one. Magha. Magha, poet Magha, Mahakavi Magha, he is from Rajasthan, and we attribute 7th century to him. Now, Magha, what did he do? Because I was thinking, while preparing this, that okay, when I come to the verse, I'll cover that. Shishupala Vadha is the slaying of Shishupala by Lord Krishna. It's a work of classical Sanskrit composed by Magha in 7th or 8th century. It's an epic poem of 20 sargas, 20 cantos. Now, comprising around 1800 highly ornate stanzas. And it is considered one of the 5 Panchamaha in Sanskrit. And like we discussed the factors that make any work as a Mahakavya. So all those factors are there. So it is admired for its exquisite description and lyrical quality than for any dramatic development of plot. What more dramatic development of plot could be where Lord Krishna is forced to behead him with a Sudarshana Chakra, giving him 100 chances to make mistake. You know all that. Okay, now in case of Magha, Sisubalavadha Magha, the 19th canto is noted for his verbal gymnastics and wordplay. I have deleted that part because it's quite popular. It is in the Wikipedia also, and creative poets and authors. It is all Chitrakavya gymnastics. I mean, gymnastics with the words. They don't give much value to Chitrakavya. And in case of Magha, what they say, the Navasarga Gate Maghe Navashabda Na Vidyate. How many sargas are there? 22 cantos are there, and scholars say that after 9th sarga, no new words are there. Means all the words that are available in Sanskrit language are already used up by Magha in the first to 9th sarga. I have read almost the same thing with reference to Vyasa also. That if you take the whole of Mahabharata, then of 100,000 verses, so naturally Navashabda na vidyate. Then they say, wait, they say, Maghe Meghe Gatam Vayaha. In reading Magha, my life was spent. Magha and Megha. Okay, my life was spent. Yeah, to the extent one has the infrastructure, to that extent is the understanding. So when you come to Magha, yes, this one, very famous verse. I mean, author is not known, but somebody, a great scholar would have, a great critic would have composed this. Upama Kalidasasya Bharaver Artha Gauravam Dandinaha Padalalityam Maghe Santi Trayagunaha. So, Kalidasa is famous for his similes and metaphors, and Bharavi's style is famous for the depth of word meaning. Artha Gauravam. Artha Gauravam is depth of word meaning, and Dandinaha Padalalitya. Dandi, playing with words. And Maghe Santi Trayagunaha. Okay. Now, if Magha had all the 3 styles. He had composed Sisubalavadha with all the 3 styles. Naturally, he would have gone through the work of Kalidasa, all the work of Kalidasa and Bharavi and Dandi. So he adapted all 3 styles in his work. That is my conclusion. Okay, then in fact there is lot of similarity between Bharavi's Kiratarjuniyam and Magha's Sisupala. There it is the Lord is Shiva, and here it is Vishnu. That is the only difference that I could find. Now, Other elaborate analysis of his work has been done, but that is not, I have not gone so deep. Being an Advaitin, I haven't gone so deep. We had portions of these Mahakavyas in our MA Sanskrit. So then the fifth one, the fifth one is Sri Harsa's. Sri Harsa, we are giving 7th century Naishadhya Charita. We know Sri Harsa as a Advaitin, and he's famous for Khandana Khanda Khadya. That was Lohika Channa, and it was not received very well by the scholars. So he went to the story legend goes that he goes to his guru or elder or mentor, and he says, he advises him to drink buffalo milk so that his sukshma buddhi will become a little bit of stula, and then he becomes intelligible to his readers. Okay, now Sri Harsa, 7th century, he composed Naishadhya Charita, where it is the story of Nala Damayanti, and the background is when I told you that it is based on the Banaparva of Mahabharata. So Yudhishthira asked, is there anybody in the history who has undergone the kind of pain that we are undergoing? Then he is told that in the past there was Nala Damayanti, and Nala had undergone such a fate as bad as Yudhishthira. So that is how it is. I mean, he had to leave. He could not look after his wife Damayanti, and he leaves, taking one half the vastra of Nala Damayanti. He leaves the place. That is the thing. Okay, this is not important. What is it in the canon? Sri Harsa was in the court of Gahadawala, king of Jayachandra. Okay. Now, Naishadhya Charita is divided into two parts, Purva and Uttara, and each of them containing 11 cantos. That makes it 22 cantos. Okay, Vanaparva, Bhima, all that is there. Considered scholars, Naishadhya. He was an Advaitin, he was an Advaitin. But one is not given the status of a Mahakavi, or your work is not given the status of Mahakavya unless you have a command over Sringara Rasa. So to establish himself as a Mahakavi, although basically he is an Advaitin, he filled up Naishadhya Charita with Sringara Rasa, and that is how his work Naishadhya Charita was given the status of a Mahakavya. And they say it's a tonic for scholars, it's a tonic for Sanskrit scholars. Then the one more work, I have covered briefly covered 5 Panchamahakavyas in Sanskrit literature. Another work is given the status of Mahakavya, that is Ravanavadha. Death of Ravana, but it is also known as Bhatti Kavya based on its author. What is the subject matter? The peculiarity of Bhatti Kavya is 7th century. Yeah, okay. It is based on Ramayana, but the whole Paninian grammar is thrown in. So if anybody completes studying Bhatti Kavya, then one would become a master in Sanskrit grammar, Paninian system of grammar. briefly I have covered all the Panchamahakavyas, including Bhattikavya, and the, I wanted to cover the Natakas, the drama by Kalidasa, and other Nataka literature I wanted to, but then this becomes very long. I would like to stop here, take leave of you, and some another session I will try to cover Nataka, Sanskrit drama, for mainly for myself and sharing with you. Thank you very much. Thank you all.